Let's get those brains working. Because today we're looking at something that's literally right in front of us.
Intriguing.
Vision.
Ah, yes. A fascinating subject.
We're going to do a fun little quiz about vision.
Okay, I like it.
We're calling it I Spy with my little brain.
Catchy.
Think you know all about those peepers.
Some people might think they do.
Get ready for some surprises.
Oh, I can almost guarantee there'll be some surprises. Human vision is full of these, fascinating little quirks and unexpected facts.
Yeah, you might think you know how your eyes work.
Mm-hmm.
But trust me,
There's a lot more to it.
there's a lot more to discover. So for our first question, let's tackle a common misconception about eye color.
Oh, okay.
Which of these color pigments is not actually present in the human eye?
Interesting.
Is it A, brown,
Okay.
B, green,
Uh-huh.
C, blue,
All right.
or D, all of the above?
This one might be tricky. Remember what we were talking about with structural color and light scattering?
All right, time's up. The answer is C, blue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
While we perceive some eyes as blue, there's no actual blue pigment. It's all about how light scatters in the iris.
Okay.
Kind of like how the sky appears blue even though there's no blue paint up there. It's a phenomenon called structural color.
Huh.
Pretty cool, right?
That is really cool. It completely changes how I think about blue eyes now. Okay, ready for question number 2.
Hit me with it.
This one is about a specific effect you might notice in some eyes. What creates the Tyndall blue effect? Is it A, special blue pigments,
Okay.
B, the reflection of the sky,
Hmm.
C, the scattering of light in the iris,
All right.
or D, melanin concentration?
We just talked about how light scattering plays a role in eye color.
Yeah,
Could this effect be related?
you're giving me clues already. All right, I'm going to go with C, the scattering of light in the iris.
You got it. It's the same phenomenon that makes the sky look blear. The way light waves scatter off tiny particles can create those stunning blue hues both in the sky and in some lucky people's eyes.
Oh. Okay, that makes so much sense now. All right, on to question number 3. Let's shift gears and talk about vision in different light conditions.
Okay.
You see perfectly during the day, but as soon as the sun starts to set, you're stumbling around like a bat.
Huh, yes.
Which cells in your eyes are slacking off in this scenario?
Good question.
Is it A, cone cells, B, rod cells,
Yes.
C, pupil cells,
Mm-hmm.
or D, cornea cells?
Think about what each of these cells does. Some are responsible for color vision while others excel in low light.
That's a good point. I remember learning about rods and cones in school. I'm going to go with B, rod cells.
You're right on the money. Rod cells are the MVPs of low light vision.
Nice.
They're super sensitive to even faint light, allowing you to navigate in dim environments. Cone cells, on the other hand, handle color vision and thrive in brighter light. So when those rod cells aren't functioning optimally, you might find yourself having trouble seeing at night.
That explains a lot. Okay, next up is a true or false question that might bust some myths.
Ooh, I like these.
Ready? Yeah, I'm ready.
True or false? Eye color is determined by a single gene.
Think back to those high school biology lessons about genetics. Was it really that straightforward?
Now that you mention it, genetics is way more complex than just single genes controlling everything. I'm gonna say false.
You're absolutely right. Eye color isn't as simple as we often think.
Oh, okay.
It's actually influenced by a complex interplay of up to 16 different genes. It's a fascinating example of how multiple genes can work together to create a wide range of variations in a single trait.
Wow, 16 genes. That's a lot more than I expected.
Okay.
Okay, question number 5. Which eye condition is characterized by having 2 different colored eyes?
Okay.
Is it A, heterochromia,
All right.
B, albinism,
Uh-huh.
C, aniridia,
Okay.
or D, glaucoma?
Think about the visual appearance of each condition. One of these stands out for creating a striking contrast in eye color.
Definitely A. Heterochromia. I've seen some amazing photos of people with heterochromia. Absolutely. Heterochromia is a fascinating condition where the melanin distribution in the irises is different, resulting in 2 distinct eye colors. You might see someone with one blue eye and one brown eye, for example. It can be genetic, caused by injury, or even a symptom of certain medical conditions.
It's amazing how much variation there is in something as seemingly simple as eye color. Okay, on to question number 6. And this one is about those changes we might see as we get older. Can eye color change over time?
Interesting.
A, yes, but only during infancy.
Okay.
B, yes, it can change through adolescence and even into adulthood.
Right.
C, no, eye color is fixed from birth. Or D, only with certain medical conditions.
There's a common belief that eye color is set in stone from birth. But is that really the case?
Right.
Think about what we've already discussed about the factors that influence eye color.
You're right. I'm starting to realize that nothing about eye color is as straightforward as I once thought.
Oh.
I'm going to go with B. Yes, it can change through adolescence and even into adulthood.
That's correct. While some people's eye color might stay relatively stable throughout their lives, others might see subtle or even dramatic shifts as they age. A study in 1997 found that 17% of white American children experienced eye color changes by adulthood.
Wow, really?
So those baby blues might not be so babyish after all.
17%. That's fascinating. I'm definitely going to pay more attention to my own eye color now. Who knows, maybe they'll magically turn purple someday.
Haha, that would be quite a sight. All right, for question number 7, let's delve into a subtle but intriguing feature of the eye.
Okay.
What might a limbal ring, that dark ring around the iris, indicate about a person?
Oh, interesting.
Is it A, their emotional state,
Okay.
B, their cultural background,
Hmm.
C, their age and health, or D, their personality type?
Mm-hmm.
Think about what visual cues we often associate with youthfulness and vitality.
Ooh, this one is interesting. I'm going to go with C.
Yeah.
Their age and health.
You're right again. Studies have shown that thicker limbal rings, those prominent dark circles, are often associated with youthfulness and perceived attractiveness.
Interesting.
It's thought to be a subconscious signal of good health and vitality.
So those limbal rings are like a secret weapon for looking younger. I need to find ways to enhance mine.
Maybe a good night's sleep would help.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, our next question is about how our eyes react to light in different ways.
Right.
Are people with lighter eyes more sensitive to light than those with darker eyes?
This one seems like a no-brainer. I'm going to say yes.
You're absolutely correct. It all comes down to melanin, the pigment that gives our eyes their color. Lighter eyes have less melanin, which means less protection from the sun's rays. That's why people with blue or green eyes often find themselves squinting more in bright sunlight. Their eyes are simply more sensitive to the intensity of the light.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, on to question number 9, and we're diving into the world of sleep.
Ooh, exciting.
Which stage of sleep is most associated with dreaming?
Good question.
Is it A, light sleep,
Okay.
B, deep sleep,
Mm-hmm.
C, REM sleep,
Right.
or D, all of the above?
Think about when you're most likely to remember those vivid, almost movie-like dreams. Which state of sleep is known for its heightened brain activity and sensory experiences?
This one is easy. It's C, REM sleep.
Exactly. REM sleep is where the magic happens, dream-wise.
Yeah.
During this stage, our brains are incredibly active, almost as if we're awake, and we experience more vivid dreams that we're more likely to remember when we wake up. It's a fascinating realm of consciousness that researchers are still trying to fully understand.
I love waking up from a crazy dream and trying to piece it all together.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I could record those REM sleep adventures. Okay, ready for our final question?
Bring it on.
All right, true or false? You can hallucinate during REM sleep.
Remember what we discussed about how active the brain is during REM sleep and how sensory input from the outside world is reduced?
That's making me think. If our brains are conjuring up all these vivid images and sensations while we're essentially cut off from external stimuli,
Yeah.
it seems like hallucinations could definitely be a possibility. I'm going to say true.
You are absolutely right. Because the brain is so active and sensory input is reduced during REM sleep, the brain can conjure up images and sensations that feel incredibly real even though they aren't actually happening. It's part of what makes dreaming so strange and wonderful.
It's like our brains are creating their own virtual reality show.
Exactly. And we're all just along for the ride. So how did you do at the quiz? Any surprises along the way?
Honestly, I learned so much. I always thought blue eyes had blue pigment. The fact that it's all about light scattering just blew my mind.
It's a reminder that even the things we see every day can hold these hidden complexities. And who knew eye color could change throughout life? It's not as fixed as we often think.
I know. That 17% statistic about eye color changes in adulthood really stuck with me. I'm going to be checking my eye color in the mirror every day now, hoping for a transformation. And speaking of transformations, those limbal rings, I had no idea those dark circles around the iris could be a sign of youthfulness and vitality.
They're like a little secret weapon for looking younger. And remember, folks, if you're struggling to see in low light, those rod cells might need a little TLC.
Yeah,
Maybe lay off the screen time before bed and give those eyes a rest.
good advice. And let's not forget about the wonders of REM sleep. It's like a nightly journey into a world of vivid dreams and sometimes even hallucinations. No wonder we wake up feeling so refreshed and energized after a good night's sleep.
Exactly. A good night's sleep is essential for both our physical and mental well-being. It's when our brains process information, consolidate memories, and prepare us for the day ahead.
It's like hitting the reset button for our minds and bodies.
Precisely. We've only just scratched the surface of understanding the complexities of our eyes and brains, but hopefully this deep dive has given you a new appreciation for the wonders of vision and the mysteries of sleep.
It really has. And you know what I love about these deep dives?
Mm-hmm.
There's always something more to think about, even after the quiz is over.
Oh, yeah, that's the beauty of exploring a topic like this. It opens up so many different avenues for further curiosity.
Exactly. Speaking of which, is there anything else about vision that you think our listeners should ponder?
Ooh.
Something that we didn't quite get to in the quiz.
Hmm. Let me think. Well, we talked a lot about like the biology and the mechanics of vision,
Right.
but what about the cultural and social implications of eye color?
Ooh, that's interesting.
Does eye color influence personality or behavior?
Ooh, that's a great question. I
Yeah.
definitely heard people say things like blue-eyed people are more sensitive or brown-eyed people are more trustworthy.
Yeah.
Are those just stereotypes or is there any truth to them?
It's fascinating how these beliefs persist, isn't it?
Yeah.
While there's no scientific evidence to support like a direct link between eye color and personality,
Hmm.
the perception of certain eye colors might influence how people interact with each other.
So it's more about how we perceive and judge each other based
Yeah.
on those first impressions.
Exactly. Our brains are wired to make these like quick judgments based on visual cues, and eye color is one of the first things we notice about someone.
Yeah.
It's part of what makes us human.
It makes you think about all the subtle ways we categorize and stereotype people, even subconsciously.
It does. So as you go about your day, dear listener, pay attention to how you perceive people with different eye colors.
Right.
Do you find yourself making assumptions or judgments based on those visual cues? And if so, why? It's a fascinating exercise in self-awareness and understanding how our brains work.
I'm definitely going to be more mindful of that from now on. Thanks for that thought-provoking question.
My pleasure. It's always a joy to delve into these intriguing topics with you.
And with you, dear listener, keep those peepers open and those minds engaged as you explore the world around you. We'll see you in our next deep dive into the realm of fascinating facts.